Good day, students. Mr. Asher here, and class is in session. Before we get started, we got to check out our shop for the day. Always got to make sure you're checking out what you have. The token doublers, always got to get the token doublers. Those free rewards, got to get the mega boxes, got to get the big boxes, got to get whatever it is you have. Now, for me, I'm still waiting on using the mega boxes and the big boxes till a little bit later. But I wanted to go over some of my games from the 15-win challenge from this weekend. And the first thing that we're going to go over is Bounty, which is the first set. But we're going to go over the last game in the first set of Bounty. In this right here, I chose Bell, and my teammates chose Byron and Ash. Now, I have heard from some people that the Byron-Ash combo is actually pretty good. And if you can get the Byron-Ash combo down, because guess what? Ash is a pretty good brawler with his rage mechanic fully activated, which he does 2,200 damage at a time. And if you can just keep him alive during that time, then he can be a pretty big menace. Now, starting off with his rage being pretty slow, he can be kind of hard to play in Showdown, which I've learned recently, but he can be pretty hard to face off against if you're not used to that type of damage or to that type of tankiness. There are better tanks out there, but he can be kind of an issue in the long run. Now, for me, I chose Bell because, first and foremost, I like to play Bell. I like to play Byron, Bell, Piper, kind of just on these maps just because they're long range. But when we are going over games like Bounty, I definitely enjoy having those long range brawlers that have good control and have consistent damage. With Piper that I tried to play as, one of the biggest issues is in the very beginning, those walls being up, they help the throwers more so than they might help a long range damage dealer sniper like Piper. So that she can always be pretty beneficial. But on this map, some of the professionals say that Brock is good, Tick is good, Bell is good, everything like that. So this one went smashing for us. And after we end up winning this game, we of course got the pin to go with it. And so that pin was just a little surrender pin, but we end up getting it done, and we end up moving on to a later set. So let's continue on from there, and we're going to go over our next match. Now, what I'm going to show you is actually our first loss in the entire 15-win challenge. The first loss was was in Bounty, and it was I don't want to necessarily a bad one, but what ended up happening, there are so many things that end up overstepping one another. You're going to see me make a mistake here in just a moment. You notice our bull going in, our bull goes in. Notice how I accidentally died right there to the M's. That was not intentional. I wasn't trying to be over aggressive, but when Bull's Berserker star power is engaged, he turns red. It doesn't help me that our opponents have turned red, which obviously helps us determine who our opponents are. But I thought that the M's was actually our bull that was just enraged from Berserker. Now, you saw me use my super right there, and I think my super accidentally used it just trying to get rid of the barley, because I did not want that barley to be making any more damage onto our safe. The super right there that I played, I think it was a neutral move, because what ended up happening, I did get rid of the barley, but the M's just stayed alive, and I was really hoping to do serious amounts of damage to both. But you can see right here that things are just stacking up. When Jessie is attacking, of course, her shots do the same amount of damage, but they do it in a bouncing correlation. So that means, they bounce off. And what you don't see right here, our teammates are going in, and they're doing a fabulous job. But our Jessie left her turret and she activated her gadget going to town on our safe. And so because she went to town on our safe, I was trying to make up for it. This barley comes in and absolutely just finishes us off. So that was our first loss of the game. The next game I want to show you is us winning this set in Heist. So we're still keeping a Rico Barley Bull kind of a composition going on, but I want to show you the game to where we won right here. And this one I feel like we did in an amazing fashion. You see me playing Rico, and Rico is absolutely really good, especially if it has walls. Rico makes good on being a brawler for walls. Not only do the throwers, but also do Rico. Okay, so I'm trying to tap up this Dynamite, and it's very interesting that this Dynamite isn't doing any damage. I'm not sure what the Dynamite was doing right here, but it was very interesting. So I tried to super, and I tried to make the mega move right here, the mega play onto this Daryl and onto this Barley. I did end up doing some damage to both the Barley and to the Daryl, but the Daryl ended up taking me out. From there, the Bull took over. And so as you can see, here we have a lot more control. It is very much tied right now, but they have well, now it's no longer tied, but now they have a double thrower comp, and that's not always the best one. Obviously, they just stacked right there, so that makes it good for me. I'm going in after this Daryl, and I end up supering onto the Daryl. They end up taking it out. So we end up taking this last match right here, and it was absolutely glorious. We got past 6 wins. And then we're going to go over the next 2 battles. Actually, the next one that we're going to go over here is a defeat. And this one I thought was very interesting because, well, you're going to see the gameplay here in just a moment. But we chose Byron, Belle, and Sandy because they were at the top of the list when it comes to potential brawlers that you could play for this map. Byron is very good to play in this situation to help keep Sandy alive. Again, Sandy's not a tank, but he's also not a squishy brawler at the same time. So Sandy is able to stay alive for a good amount of time. Now, Belle, she is a good brawler to help keep control. She can be either played as a mid or a lane, but you know, when you have both a Byron and a Belle going on, you know, both of us can't be mids. And so what ended up happening, I end up dying. No, not me, but the Byron ended up dying there. And then I end up dying to the Penny. And so we did an amazing job. Look at this, 72 to 20, 28%, and we were trying to gain in on that percentage and finish us off, because really we thought that this was ultimately the really good comp. Now, what really hurt us were a few different things. We were clumping together, and pennies, they thrive when you clump up. They thrive in a clumped up situation because when you can clump up, pennies can get that splash damage there and do even more damage than normal to a brawler. But then others that succeed when you clump up is actually the Buzz right here. The Buzz succeeds in a clumped up situation just for the sheer fact that when you all are in his super range, you will all get attacked. And plus, the more people that are in his circle to help him gain super off of you, the more potential you will just help him gain his super faster. So we clumped up and we did amazing in the very beginning, but after the turret was down, after the clumping up, we end up losing that match, which is unfortunate. But the important thing is we got that pin. We are going to show you I'm going to show you the last match that we played here. And the last match that we played, I thought it was even better than the first match, because what happened in the first match is, you know, we had a better composition. The better composition ended up, you know, getting us to a high percentage early on, but I felt like we learned so much from that first match that we actually tried to play better this one. We tried to play a little bit more careful. And as you can see, they have a Tara and a Sandy. Both Tara and Sandy can shoot, and in Ems, all three of these people can shoot through other brawlers and other objects, and they can easily just take care of a whole group of people if they get their supers down. Now again, Sandy with his super, deadly. He just covers so much area in that super range that, you know, we couldn't really do much. Now, we were doing a really good job of like overall fending them off, and I think that it was one of our better plays to kind of move around, keep the games going. But again, Sandy, he's not a squishy brawler, nor is Sandy a tank. But if you can keep him alive, he becomes a threat because obviously you just have to keep shooting him. And so we chose what we thought was the best comp, and we kind of kept with that best comp as best as we could. And you see that I'm trying to put down my gadgets. I didn't put my gadgets a lot down last time. I put it somewhat down, but I think it was too late by the time we put them down in the last game. But, you know, we live and we learn. So now it is 60 to 51 here. Again, we're trying to keep it close and as close as we can. But ultimately, we have to get that percentage in. Like, we don't want close, we want to win. And unfortunately, we just can't close the gap. I end up marking the Sandy, but again, we can't close the gap. Each one of us, except for Penny, is a single target brawler. So we can only target one brawler at a time. Penny can technically only target one brawler at a time, but her splash afterwards works so much in her favor that it's almost better than if she was more than a single target brawler. So unfortunately, we lost in the 15 win challenge. We did not make the 15 wins, but it was a good time. We won the pin. Hope you all have a good day. With that being said, class is dismissed.